How long does it take us in 2021 to listen to a 33-minute album?
Forever.
I was going to do another instant reaction to the Quicksand album, Distant Populations, which was released on August 13th. Not quite insta, somewhat insta reaction, but here we are. We're going to talk about the new Quicksand album. You are Ramystein. You may remember him from such hits as the Miss Fats episode last summer, which we did about a year ago.
Oh, God, yeah.
So Tim is actually off prepping for a comedy show on September 18th. And you can check out his Instagram, Mummies on Main Street, for more details. While he's doing that, Ramy is here to talk about the new Quicksand album with me. So cool stuff all around, and everybody wins.
Walter Schreifels, who I think is one of the best alternative singer-songwriter combinations up there. He's up there with Kurt Cobain or Bob Mould. Sergio and Alan Cage. Sergio Vega, the bass player. Alan Cage, the drummer. Formerly Tom Capone, who is no longer in a band due to, I guess he has some health issues. We'll just leave it at that.
Now he's in Blood Clot.
That last album they put out was awesome.
Yeah.
So Quicksand, they put out a couple of albums in the mid-90s. They were on MTV at Headbangers Ball, 120 minutes. I don't think they really ever made it much to daytime TV. Like, they're not going to be on TRL. I remember they had this performance on the Jon Stewart show. Remember we had a Tita Talk show, and Sergio just had like dreads and just like I'm like, oh, this cool. This guy got dreads, and he's playing a Music Man bass, and he's playing all over the neck. And
forgot about that, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, we'll link it. It's a great performance. So yeah, how did you first get into Quicksand? Hear about them, get into them, all that good jazz.
I don't know if you know the whole story that Walter had to do a tour with Youth Today, I believe. So he recorded all the guitar with the drummer of Gorilla Biscuits and him singing. And everyone's like, oh, wow, you're a decent singer. You should do a band where you sing. So that became Moondog. But that evolved into Quicksand when he got like the Hardcore All-Stars as his backing members.
I knew them and I thought they were kind of cool. I'd see them on like the Headbangers Ball and 120 Minutes and shows like that. MTV Nighttime, essentially, when all the good shit was playing. But I got into them years later. It was 2004. Picture it. I'm gonna go Sophia Petros. Picture it. 2004. Coconuts, FYE's going out of business, and they want to get rid of all their CDs.
All right.
And they had Manic Compression. Like, oh, I remember these Quicksand guys. Like, I kind of, what is it, $3? Cool, whatever. Let's check it out. And I heard
$3 is a steal.
Yeah, ultimate, one of the best steals I ever got.
Mm-hmm.
And just I heard it, and I loved Sergio's playing that Music Man active bass for all you music nerds out there. Very bright sound.
Like it's iconic sound.
Yeah, I heard the album and I got into them, and it was kind of a bummer they broke up. But that's what happened in the late 90s. A lot of those bands that just the music industry went through a radical shift in the late 90s. And a lot of those bands, and I know this is a little bit more in the alternative world, but like Tripping Daisy and Our Lady Peace, all those like mid-tier bands that had some success, not quite daytime MTV success, but had gold albums or maybe one platinum album. It was a bad time for them because as the Spice Girls and nu metal and Britney Spears and all that stuff like that was being put in the mainstream, those bands are being dropped by major labels. And Quicksand, I think what happened in the late 90s with them was essentially they had labeled frustration and also just creatively they were just kind of done. They didn't, so just a bunch of things led to them breaking up. All those guys have been super active since Quicksand broke up in the late 90s. And I mean, most commercially, Sergio Vega plays bass. He took over for Chi Cheng and the Deftones in the late 2000s, and that's pretty much been his main gig. And Walter's had his zillion bands. Alan plays in a bunch of bands, and Tom, who was formerly in Quicksand, is now in Blood Clot. And Stephen Brodsky is touring with Quicksand now. He's from Cave In and Mutoid Man, among many other things. When they got back together, I think around the late 2000s, early 2010s, and he started playing concerts. 2017, in the fall, they released Interiors, which was an awesome album, a great comeback. So how did Quicksand spend part of their pandemic? Conshohocken, Pennsylvania, recording their fourth album, Distant Populations. So let's get right into the tracks and let's talk about them. There's 11. First one is Inversions, which I just thought was decent, uneventful. Wasn't the best, somewhat energetic as an intro. Didn't really do much for me.
No, but it's a nice lead off, I guess, from the rest of the album.
Second track I really enjoyed, Lightning Fields. I thought the tempo was better. It's I'm all about my workout tracks, and this is a great workout track. This definitely has that NHL arena type feel to it. It's just up tempo. I love the guitar counter melodies, and there's no filler. I'm a fan of stop-start dynamics that like the Pixies and Nirvana and bands prior did, and I think this has a lot of that on there.
Yeah.
Colossus is the third track, and not Piotr Rasputin from the X-Men and X-Teams. Colossus. I actually think he's more exciting. This song is fine. It's just it's not a bad 90s song. It reminded me of Smashing Pumpkins or Hum a little bit. Track 4, Brushed. I love this because it has the rhythm section, Sergio and Alan going to work. And I think what's cool about this is they mostly went with like a very dissonant acoustic guitar as opposed
Is
to.
that what that is?
Yeah, definitely the way they recorded. This reminds me a little bit the way it's sang and like the drum beat. It's a little bit like Jane's Addiction. If you go all loud and explosive, it makes the album uninteresting. But if you also go all soft, you don't want to sonic quaalude people to sleep. And so this was a different dynamic wise, which is kind of a nice change up. You get your main dish, and now you're going to give you a nice side, like potatoes.
Yeah, I want to say like this is one of the. I mean, there's a couple of tracks that I feel like I could see myself in the '90s passing out to, like with the X107.
X107.
That was the one. Yeah. They would play like something like this album.
They would
at like 9-10 o'clock on a Tuesday.
Probably would still be playing this is at WSOU, pirate radio when they that because that.
Yeah, I could see them playing that too.
That's when I found out Downset put out their second album back in the day. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, because it was on. But it was so hard. You literally had to dress up in the tinfoil suit and pose like the Heisman to get signal to that. It was so.
I just remember driving around town and like parts of town you would get it and parts of town you wouldn't. It's just like, oh crap, let me pull over here because I like this song.
Yeah, exactly. You hear all like the cool hardcore. Katakana. So this is definitely a Deftones influence. Sergio's time with the Deftones, the fuzz bass, and
that's what it is. I was trying to figure out what that effect was.
Yeah, Sergio puts all kinds of. He doesn't play his bass up and through an amp anymore. It's through all kinds of computers and processors and things like that. So
hard to make.
Yeah, fancy. Yeah, there's a video of him when Gore came out in 2016, just going through his entire gig setup and rig and everything like that. It was pretty cool.
Raking in those Deftones royalty checks.
Deftones royalty, yeah. I liked it. It was cool. We liked it. Walter was holding back on guitar and he exploded, more of like the soft, loud thing. I think that's a good arrangement. Things like the psychology in music, because if you come out, as we just mentioned, if you come out and you explode, and if you basically go like full Locust, it's like a minute 30, just it's cool for a little bit, but it's tough to listen to an album of that for 20 to 40 minutes. Different dynamics and things of that nature.
No, this track is one of the ones that really makes me sit there like trying to figure out every fucking pedal they use on the song.
Yeah. 6th track, Missile Commands, not to be confused with the Atari video game back in the day.
Oh God, yeah.
Loved that game when I was a kid.
They probably got the name of that song from the game.
I have nothing really to add to it. It's decent, solid. Meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
Beyond meat and potatoes.
Gets the job done.
Gets the job done. Yeah, exactly. Phase 90. So this to me sounds like the last track on Interiors is called Normal Love. I thought that was a great track.
Yeah.
And this kind of sounds almost like a sequel to it for me, where it's a little psychedelic, it's a little more spacey, a little more dreamy. And I admit, like, I'm not a lyrics person. This is the one song I really paid attention to the lyrics. He kept saying, sometimes it's better to just keep on traveling. So I was thinking about that and how maybe what he's referring to. I don't exactly know what Walter's, like, as a lyricist, themes are commonly, besides peace and just be good to other people. So maybe what I took from it is maybe he's saying that you want to stay in motion. You don't want to, because if you stay idle
don't
or you
stagnant, basically. I
don't
guess.
be stagnant.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not him, so what do I know? But
maybe it's like if you stay in place, then you have to start dealing with like the stuff at hand and stuff in your life. Where if you keep traveling, then you're not thinking, you're just doing. And so sometimes it's better to just keep traveling or just keep doing things, because then your mind won't start driving you nuts.
Yeah, I mean, it's all interpretive. I don't think he's not one of those ones that comes out like, this is what I mean.
Yeah, it's all about a chick. It's like all music's just about a girl. It's about some girl that he like back in the day, and some color or something reminds you about her, and so you gotta like make it all cryptic and stuff like that, because then look what happened. And then you have Hey Delilah, and
Oh God.
yeah, and you get some woman who's pissed off at you forever.
Yeah. Well, to each their own. I mean, the 50s made a killing doing that.
Yeah.
It's like flat out, like, hey Donna, fuck you, Donna.
Yeah. Who was this Donna you speak of? The Philosophers. What I did like was there was a change, like just a melody and a tempo change in the last minute. I think that's kind of a lost art in modern music.
Kind of throws you off, but
Yeah,
because you don't, like you said, you don't really see it that much anymore.
like listen to Opeth, that happens all the time.
Oh.
Every 30 seconds that Michael Akerfeld guy is
God.
changes and rhythm changes and puts flutes in for no reason. You gotta watch out with that Michael Aker belt.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. But it's a lost art in modern music, the whole changing dynamic and changing sections and melodies. There's so much emphasis on being a songwriter, having this compact 3 to 4 minute track, oftentimes like a 6 or 7 minute. Like I don't know if stereo radio heaven could be made today. That's a very extreme example.
No one has everyone's got ADD. It's like, we want to know. Internet, give me now.
Compacted reality. This was a transition. Sad 1930s music. I'm not a big fan of transitions. It's funny, like skits once in a while. This was okay as they get their one transition and that's it. And they used it, and they've used that token up. EMDR, that's like the funky one. It sounds a lot like, so it reminds me, it could have been either STP, the Deftones, or Red Hot Chili Peppers track. It actually sounds a lot like Doomed User, which is a Deftones track from Gore in 2016.
Yeah.
Very, very similar. That track's a little more brutal, a little more genty, I guess you could say.
Change. Good. Sergio doing his Sergio thing.
Sergio doing the Sergio thing. The world needs more Sergio.
Yes.
And the last track is Rodan. It's more Sergio doing Sergio things. Nice little bass line to kind of build a track around.
Yeah.
And I did like the chorus, like the movement of it.
Yeah.
Ultimate is a little too short. I felt like
it's 3 minutes, but it's still like that's it.
Yeah, they could have gone out and made it like a 5 minute track, or put in a solo, or had some other section,
or just let it drone on.
Yeah,
with the riff and the
Jonah,
the groove and everything.
Yeah, that's essentially it. So that's the entire album. Overall, what are your thoughts on it? And I'll give you mine after.
I mean, it feels like it's gonna take forever, and then it just stops. Like we were saying with that last song, it's like, what the fuck?
Blue balls.
Yeah, it's like, all right, we're going. It's gonna be a long trip, and then it's just like, bye, see you later.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, come back, motherfucker.
Yeah, listen to it again and again and again. See us on tour.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned trip. I thought so. Oftentimes when I'm driving, it's all about putting, whether it's myself or other people, it's all about finding albums that are going to make the time pass by and make it a fun trip. You never want to put on like you're not going to put on like Uma Guma by Pink Floyd and have like this three disc ambience. Just I mean, I'll take you to another dimension, literally. But you generally want like fun, whether it's groovy or up tempo albums to get you through, especially if you're driving somewhere like 3 to 6 even longer hours. Just make the night go by. Cameo is great for long car rides.
Oh.
But I like this as an album for a car ride, or it's quick if you're having a commute to work, or you're driving somewhere.
No, not a commute to work.
Not a commute to work? Why?
Why? Well, maybe
too short.
The first time I listened to it is so when a new album comes out, download it on my phone immediately through my YouTube Music. I'm probably the only person that uses that.
It's all right.
But I download it, get ready, walk the dog, start the car up, make breakfast, leave. And then I just kind of try to focus on what the hell I'm doing, because I'm behind the wheel, and just kind of like, where am I going? All right, work. And then eventually I turn, like when I get on the sawmill, I turn it on, and then it's just like done, and I'm like still driving.
You decide, I get it. You need something a little bit longer to get you through. Rather than break it up, you want something that's going to be a little longer to get you through the entire commute in one, or something that may not even
something that'll at least make it to when I park the car. But
sure.
I could do it on a Saturday or Sunday when no one's on the road in the morning.
I think it was a little bit undercooked, but it's still fun. It was better than I thought. I really didn't like the singles when I heard it, and that's just maybe because I'm very busy and just kind of going through social media and hearing clips like, this doesn't really appeal to me. But I'm still a fan of I've been a fan of the group for almost 20 years and their other projects. So I was going to buy this album and listen to it no matter what. Overall, I was pleasantly surprised, and it wasn't a dud. Is it their best album? No, it's probably number 4 of 4 in the ranking. 1 through 10, what do you give it?
Somewhere between 6.5 and a 7.
I give it a 6 out of 10. A car ride album or something I'll break up and throw 4 or 5 tracks, maybe at most, on a workout mix, and that will be it.
Clean around the house mix.
Exactly, yeah, like do stuff mix.
Oh.
You don't stop what you're doing to listen to this album. You don't just like, okay, everybody stop, listen, like, we got to hear this. But at the same time, you could pass it on to somebody and be like, yo, check it out.
It's like I was thinking about on the car ride home today. Like, it's very ambient.
So, what do Walter, Sergio, and you all have in common?
I guess veganism and shitty beer.
I'd say more interesting beer, but yeah, definitely veganism. So, yeah, it's interesting that this is a very pro-vegan band. And actually, Sergio and Chris Enriquez from Spotlights and kind of a entrepreneur in the metal world and big social media dude. He's drummer in Spotlights. They went to Happy Zoe Bakery in Brooklyn to promote this album last week when it came out. Just kind of visit. Yeah, there's stuff on Instagram and all thing. So yeah, I think it's pretty interesting, especially those dudes like Sergio and Walter for doing this back before it was big, and just overall like your experience. I take it they weren't an influence in your decision to go vegan. This is way before. Or
no,
maybe it's not.
Well,
maybe they helped.
I mean, Cats and Dogs that Walter wrote in the Gorilla Biscuits Start Today album kind of was like a little boot in the anus, if you will. Like the light bulb went on in my head, I think, because it was I was a teenager, so Christ almighty, I haven't eaten meat in about 20 years.
How has that changed for you overall?
I mean, I never liked meat to begin with, so people are like, no, you just didn't eat it right. It's like, fuck you.
This wasn't your thing. It's fair.
No, it was like steak night, and I would eat all of the potatoes. I'd take like 3 bites, and then my dad would be like, great, more steak for me.
Back in the day, oh, hey, you're vegan, you're vegetarian. So, hey, here's some tomatoes and lettuce, and go to town, have fun with it. And everyone else pigging out around you, and they bring you this little platter of just like side vegetables.
Yeah, but like, have your tofu.
Yeah, exactly. And it's definitely come a long way. I mean, you have able to get other kind of plant and protein substances right now, or substitutions right now, and you're able to just go shopping, and you don't really need meat anymore at all if you don't want to. I mean,
about 2 decades over here. Garden Burger used to make this like, it was, I don't know, it was like the McRib without all the disgusting. So yeah, I lived off those. When I went out to visit my friend that moved to LA 2016, it was like as soon as I got off the plane, I was like, check this place out. I was like, ooh, okay. And it was a veggie grill.
Yeah,
there's one out in Chelsea now. I keep meaning to hit up, but I don't want to go to Chelsea for some vegan junk food.
Doomy's in Toronto, and that's one of my favorite restaurants of all time. Like, one of the best meals I ever had in my life. Yeah, I think about recommending that to a bunch of people. I was kind of personally upset.
Well, it's like 2 or 3 locations out in LA now, I think.
Yeah, I just didn't really have a chance because I didn't know about the times.
That's how I knew about the one in Toronto where we went. I was like, oh, damn.
From LA. That's cool. Yeah. Last time I was in Toronto, I didn't have a chance to go there, but I was definitely like talking it up to coworkers who were vegan, like, yo, you got to go to Doomy's, man.
I'm sure like Uber Eats and all those delivery based apps could deliver it to wherever you are now.
Absolutely.
As long as you're near them. I wish it would drive hours from Toronto down here for me, but it won't.
Yeah, it's pretty expensive. That's definitely some baller shit right there. So it's above all our pay grades, I believe. Until this thing gets 1 million likes and subs and everybody in the pool goes global.
When we were in Chicago, I did grab a veggie grill. If you remember, I like bailed on all you guys going to that. Like,
you did?
I think our first morning in Chicago, Tim and Doug went to that diner. Yeah, me and you met them up, and I was like, okay, I am not eating like cow ass or tongue or
rump roast.
Yeah, it was just like, who eats this first thing in the morning? It's like, no.
Chicago.
And then I pulled up my phone and there was like a little star on the map. I'm like, where did I star in Chicago? And I was like, oh crap, there's a veggie grill.
I don't know if you remember 2013 when I just decided one fall I'm going late that fall. I'm just gonna go on a weight loss kick, and I went vegan for about 6 months, and I lost like 30 pounds just doing that and just lifting weights and everything like that. I try to do it 2 or 3 times a week, just a personal thing, because meat is it's a lot to digest, and I'll do it with anything basically. You know, sometimes do that a couple of times, do only like a shake or juice just to change it up a bit. Just wrapping up Quicksand, you think they have it comes out in their music at all? They're just like veganism at all, or
I mean, he's not as vocal about it off the cuff like he was on that one song.
Walter?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
yeah, it doesn't sound like it. Like they don't have any. It's not like Earth Crisis where it's like,
oh my god,
we'll destroy you. Eat meat, cattle, and beer.
Firestorm.
Yeah, yeah.
And on top of the fact, I never understood a word that man was saying.
So that's essentially it. So Quicksand, Distant Populations, released August 13th on Epitaph Records. And check it out. Check out all our stuff. Check out Everybody in the Pool. We'll be back soon. We have lots more stuff working on. Tim's doing some stuff. We have some videos we're still editing in the background. We have all kinds of nonsense. Like, subscribe, share. The end.